Alright, so this video is going to be kind of a mix of everything. I'm going to talk about some of my newer figures like this mic, and also some figures I'm looking forward to, and also what's currently going on with my collection. So let's start with that. Right now I'm working on putting everything back into their boxes. So just about every single figure I have, I'm putting back into their boxes. And I've been working on this for about a week now. This is how many I have boxed up so far. And yeah, there's still a lot to go, like all the ones on the shelves, and there's also some around the house, like scattered around, that I'm working on gathering up and putting back in their boxes. And it's not that I'm losing interest in figures or anything like that. Like, I'm still really passionate about them. I love talking about them, but I just need to reset my priorities, and I need to get them out of sight in order to do that. Because for a good amount of years now, I've been spending so much of my free time focused on figures in one way or another, like whether it's making a video or looking up new releases or updating my list of most wanted figures or browsing sales. And not that there's anything wrong with doing those things. That's part of what I enjoy about collecting figures is doing all that stuff. It's just become such an ingrained habit for me that it feels like second nature. Like, I kind of just default to looking at figure stuff or thinking about figures or making a video anytime I have free time to myself. And the reason I'm changing that is because there's lots of other things I want to do in my life, and if I stay caught in this loop of buying figures, reviewing figures, and looking at figures in my free time, I'm never going to get any of that stuff done. Years are just going to keep passing by, and I'll be stuck in the same loop if I don't cut it off. So that's what this is about. I need to cut this off and then develop some new habits and get my priorities in place. And then once I do that, I can figure out where figures fit and all of that. And I've been collecting anime figures for about 10 years now and other stuff for my whole life. So I've always been collecting something. But yeah, it's such a strong ingrained habit that I feel I need to do this in order to break it. So yeah, by getting them all out of sight and back into the boxes, I'll get a feeling of what life feels like without them, and then eventually when I feel the time is right, I'll bring them back out. Like, I'm thinking I might want to get a little bookshelf, or not a little, just a bookshelf, put some manga on there, maybe a few figures, and then eventually expand that whenever I feel the time is right. And it's not like I'm setting any strict rules for myself. Like, I'm still going to look at figure stuff, I'm still going to look at new figures, and whenever I'm in the mood, I'm going to talk about figures just like I do now. I'm just going to spend less time doing things like looking up figure news, looking at the new pre-orders. Like, I don't need to be doing that daily, multiple times a day. So I'm just going to replace the time I would normally spend doing that with other more productive habits. And I could always check this stuff like once every 3 weeks. It doesn't need to be daily. And I could still enjoy it just as much. I might even enjoy it more that I'm not looking up, new news and stuff every single day. It might be fun checking once every 2 or 3 weeks. And right now I'm not really wanting to get rid of any of my figures, but this is the same thing I do when I'm not sure if I want a figure. I'll put it away in the box and then I'll check on it every few months, and eventually I will get rid of some of them. Like, a few years ago, there was this one figure I had that I wasn't sure I wanted. Like, I would always try to fit it into my collection, and then I'd always find myself just wanting to put something else there instead. So I'd put it back in the box and bring it out every few months. Maybe it would stay in the box for a year at some points, and then after about 3 or 4 years of doing that, I finally decided I'm ready to get rid of it, and it felt great to let it go. So I could see myself coming to that same conclusion with some of the figures I'm going to have boxed up, because I'm going to have all of them boxed up, just about all of them. But yeah, definitely not this Momo and Kaido. Getting rid of these two is something that's never crossed my mind. But yeah, putting them all away in their boxes like this has been a really good reminder for me of how much space this stuff really takes up, like especially if you keep all the boxes like I do. And I still have a lot to go. There's still so many on the shelves, and I have a few more throughout the house that I'm gathering up. So yeah, there's still a lot more to do. Here's this Luffy. This one came in maybe a month ago now. I did have him out of the box, but I put him back in there. And let's take him out now. I'll tell you what I think of him right here. Here we go. But yeah, this box is pretty thin. I don't know why I thought it would be thicker. It's not, I'm not saying it's a negative thing, but yeah, it just surprised me how thin the box was. I didn't bring the tripod in here, so doing this with one hand, which isn't too hard with a figure this small. Let me put it down for a second, though. Alright, so there it is, the Luffy, the whatever he is. Soul Gorgeous Statue, Gear 5 Luffy. Sculpted by Iwakura Keiji. And that very wrinkly look, which not everyone's gonna like it, but I love it most of the time. And yeah, something I noticed is that these lightning pieces are pretty hollow feeling. Like you can see right now. Let me get it out. All right, so here's one of them. Let's see if we can see how hollow it is. See, very plasticky hollow, but it looks fine and it doesn't feel weak. So I'm not sure if that's necessarily a negative thing. Just something I wanted to point out. Because I know it is important to some people, maybe a lot of people, like if a figure feels really light and hollow, that can give it a cheap feel. But I'm sure there are expensive things, like high quality things that are also hollow, but I mean, I'm the same way. Like if something feels, you know, heavy, that, you know, it kind of makes you feel like it's well made, it's higher quality. Even the hand, I think. Yeah, I don't know. And yep, I'll just put him right back into the box after this. I haven't even put all the pieces on, and I don't know if I'm going to do it right now. But yeah, that's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go out of my way to make it perfect. At least not in this video, because I'm just not in the mood to do it. But yeah, here he is. I love the face. There was like, when he first came out, I saw some pictures of the final product, and I wasn't sure about the face, but now that I have him here, I think he looks great. Look at that beast. And yep, the very wrinkly pants. I mean shorts, not pants. And right now I'm using the auto setting on my camera, so I can't get everything, you know, exactly perfect. I don't have my lights in here because it's just too much of a hassle to set them up when I'm moving around the whole room like this. But look at that hat, really nice detail. I like the sculpting on the hat. And then the smoke around his shoulders is a gray color, which I like, so it doesn't blend in with the white of the shirt. And yeah, I thought I would hate this stand maybe, but I think it actually looks better in person. Doesn't look too bad. And it was the color. The color I had an issue with, not the sculpt. And same thing with the lightning. I thought it looked pretty plain and bland, but you can also see some darker shades of blue, so it does give it a little bit of something. Though translucent would have been ideal. Like I think that would have looked the best, like with the Figure Art Zero Gum Gum Giant Luffy that has the translucent lightning. But yeah, I don't really think this looks bad at all. I like that it has the darker shades of blue. I think really save it from looking like a plain, ugly thing. So I think it looks alright. Looks fine. Alright, so here he is fully put together. There was one piece that went here, then another one in the back over here. Yeah, let's see. Like I said, they feel fine. Now what's going on there? Did I put this in wrong? I think I put that in wrong. Does it have 2 points of connection maybe? Yeah, I think so. So you can see the 2 connection points here. Okay, so it looks like both of them actually had 2 points of connection. So it connects right here and also right there, and then for the other one, it's got a connection right here. Maybe I'll pull it out a bit. No, I don't want to do it. So it connects right here and also over here. And I mean, I'm actually liking the color of this base now. It looks better on the final product in person. And now for the arms. So I don't have this fully pushed in. I think I'd have to heat it up a little bit, and I don't want to do that right now. So it's just, you can see it's not fully pushed in. Alright? But that's basically how he looks. I think he's pretty good. Let me go put him in the Luffy shelf because I have not taken all of my figures off of there yet. Though, some of them. Like, what was it right there? The Gum Gum Giant Luffy I already put away. And yeah, here are some of my Mega WCFs I got. I got the Kuma and the Gum Gum Giant Luffy holding Kizaru. And then I have some more down here. The Punching Kuma, the Whitebeard, I've had that forever. Hybrid Kaido, Saturn, another Pacifista. But I mean, I was thinking this would be a nice spot for him. Let me move that Snake Man. The King of Artists Snake Man version 2. I did have the original of this one. I don't think it's called version 2. I think it's called Special Color. And then they also have another one out where it's kind of like metallic on the clouds. But yeah, I like this one a lot better than the original release that I had because the smoke on that one was just clear and it made it look cheap. But this one has a little bit of a, well, a lot more of a white look to it because it has like the opaque paint over the translucent. So I do think that looks a lot better than the first one, which are just clear. It didn't look too good. And I also like the paint job on the shorts better on this one. But let's get this Luffy there. I'd probably take some more time, you know, angling him just right if I was going to actually display him here. But yeah, maybe I'll make this display again if I put them back here sometime. And I mean, yeah, this stuff is just thrown up here. This was not part of the display. It was this one here. Then I had the Gear 4th Congun Luffy right here, and Figure Art Zero Snake Man there. What was that? Figure Art Zero Gum Gum Giant Luffy, and then over here was the Gear 2nd Masterlise Expiece Luffy. And here's the top shelf, so half of it's gone already. I've put away half that stuff, and still gotta do this stuff. Then over here I had the Demonio Robin up here, put that one away, and haven't put away any of the Whitebeard Pirates yet. I put away the Figure Art Zero Momo, and I just dropped that ghost earlier, but luckily it hit off this box and then landed on that stuff down there, so it was fine. But it fell from way up here. Yep, so the World Scale Ores, I put that one away, still gotta put these two away. So, yep, we got a few more new ones to look at. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about Mike. I think it's Mike time. Mike, Mika, Miku, whatever the hell you want to call him. I think it's fun to call him Mike, so that's what I'm gonna call him. And yes, this is the rock from the Figure Art Zero Kaido, because his base is kind of ugly. This is what he comes with. One of these ugly, Masterlise stands. He's a Masterlise extra figure. So here's what he looks like. Let me show you if you were to just buy a Mike and not have an extra rock laying around. This is what he looks like. And I really love him. He's one of my favorite figures, probably, out of all of mine. Look at that tongue, a lot of detail on the tongue and also in the mouth. Maybe I'll put a picture here because I took a lot of pictures of him. But yeah, what an adorable beast. Look at him. And the fur, the sculpting of the fur is amazing, like throughout the whole thing. I do think those lines are a bit heavy. Like, look at that on the back leg. Like, to me, it looks like some kind of intentional pattern in the fur rather than shading or whatever they were going for. And I have seen some other mics where it doesn't look so extreme, so I think it's one of those things that varies. Like, some may be applied lighter or heavier. Yeah, and also the nails, like, maybe you can't see it here, but the nails aren't too well painted. You can see like the purple coming out through the white on certain portions, but I mean, like this, I don't really notice at all. But that doesn't mean that I can't want for it to be better. And I saw a good amount of QC issues with this one on other people's mics. Like, there was one where there was a gap here on where the shoulder connects to the back. And then also the worst one I saw was Mike missing the bottom portion of the mouth, like the whole inner mouth and the teeth were missing from their brand new mic. And there was also one that had like some white residue, white paint, whatever it was on, I think it was this leg, then another that had some up here. And yeah, any figure has the potential for defects, but I still do think that the quality control could have been better on this mic. And mine does have an actual defect. Like, the paint on the claws I just see as being sloppy, just like a paint flaw, but a defect is something like the mouth missing, or maybe the white globs of paint. I don't know, something that's like physically wrong with the figure. So I'm not sure if you can see it here, but I'll put a picture up. So mine actually has a chunk of the fur missing right in here. But yeah, when he's on display, I got lucky, I guess, that it's in this spot. That's a pretty hard to see spot, but that is a defect my mic has. And this is one of those figures that didn't get released in the US, which is where I live, so I imported him. I bought him through eBay for about $224 shipped. Because he comes in a massive box, look at it here. Very big box, so I was kind of worried to do Zen Market, even though I did recently do a Zen Market order after a year with these Mega WCFs, but those were small, so with this mic I just didn't want to take that chance, because when you buy it through Zen Market or Proxy, you have to pay for the item. You pay Zen Market to buy it from the seller, then it comes to their warehouse, and then only after that point do you get to see the shipping. So I didn't want to pay like $115 for this, then be surprised with the $200 shipping charge, because they might put them in a big box that you just don't know. So that's why I decided to go with eBay for this one, because I like seeing the full amount up front. And that was from Japan too. It was the price of the item plus the shipping for $224, which I felt he was worth. And his price is going down now on like Mercari JP. I've seen him going for about $80, $95. But of course that's not with international shipping, so who knows. But yeah, I'm happy with what I paid for him. And I do have him on top of some top loaders, because I've noticed some of my figures get paint transfer from these shelves. But yeah, he's really amazing, really impressive. Like, he is massive. Let's grab this beast. He's in the dark. Yeah, he's, like I said, he's one of my favorite figures. Right, here we have a much better view of Mike. And if I'm remembering correctly, he's about 44.5 centimeters deep. Maybe you could say 45 just to be safe, but I did measure him many times, like extensively. But yeah, that's from the snout to the end of the tail, about 45 centimeters. But yeah, I really love the paint job for the most part. Like, it's really nice. There's like that mix of purple and black darkish purple. And then, yeah, this is the only spot I think it looks a little bit odd, is on this leg right here. Let's get a view like this of the Great Mike. Look at that. Here you go. But yeah, I really love the sculpt. Every inch of it is just really interesting to look at. He's got his long ears there, then the long kind of fur on the side of his face. And this thing there is an unlicensed resin, so I don't know where you can get it if you're wondering. I got it a long time ago and I don't collect those anymore. So, can't help you with that. And here we have the other side of Mike. One of my favorite aspects is this, how they did the ribs. Like, they just look really nice underneath the fur, and then there's also the dark shading in between them that helps them to stand out. What a magnificent beast. And then yeah, I love that hair going all the way up. It starts like on the shoulders and goes all the way into the tail. Yeah, he's just a really amazing figure. I'm really glad I got him. And he might stay out. Maybe I'll put him away, but maybe I'll keep him out for now. We'll see. And I can't remember if I explained this clearly, but this is the rock from the Figure Art Zero Kaido, the regular form Kaido. Not the dragon one, because that one comes with no rocks. So yep, that's what I use for Mike. And then this one, I'm having trouble getting him back into his packaging. Like, the blister packaging will not close, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I'm going to get this beast put away. Because I looked, I put him right in the slot, but the damn thing, it just does not want to close. Like, even if I try to put tape on it, it's still like, there's still pressure being put on something. And yeah, his box is down there. And I've messed with that a few times throughout the last month. I could not figure it out. And maybe it's something that can't be figured out. Maybe that's just how it is. But he was in there when I bought him, right? So it's got to be possible to get him back in. But yeah, I got to mess with that some more. Little Moogie plushes, and yeah, here's Mike's box if you want a better look at it. And I also have the measurements of the box. I mean, I have them somewhere, so I guess I'll put them in the description. But it's pretty big. It's bigger than like the Black Maria and Robin boxes here. I think one dimension might be the same, like the depth or something, but overall it's bigger than either of these two boxes. But they're similar in shape, that's why I'm comparing them, like kind of rectangular shaped boxes, you know. And here's another one I got, which I don't think we're going to open. I just don't feel like opening it. But the Masterlise Femto. Found him on Amazon for about $55. And they actually put packing paper in the box, but he was like pushed up against the sides, so the figure box was only protected from one side and also the top, which is still better than what Amazon usually does. But yeah, I think it's a really good figure. The paint job is really good. Like it's really nice. There's a lot of dark black going between the muscles. Like, it almost looks a bit above average for an Ichiban Kuji figure. And the muscles look like what they'd look like under skin, like there's no skin on them. So that's really interesting to look at how that was sculpted. And his wings are just full of texture. Like, you can see some really deep grooves throughout them, especially on the back. And then on the inside, there's kind of like some vein-looking things going on throughout it. And I think it's really interesting to look at. Like, if you look at the manga cover for volume 12, I think there is some texture on the wings, but usually he's depicted with pretty smooth-looking wings. And even on that volume, it's not really this type of texture. Like, the texture does make it a little bit hard to make out like the bony portions of the wings. So I can see how some people can see this texture as too much. But it doesn't bother me personally. I think it's really interesting to look at, and I like how the whole figure has this gloss on it. It makes him look really slimy and gross. But something I really don't like about this figure is the stand. It's a big, ugly, clear chunk, and it's kind of a hassle to get it in there, so I warmed up his wings and also his legs. Though you could probably just force it in there if you really wanted to, but I just didn't want to take any chances. But yeah, even once the stuff is warmed up, it's pretty hard to get his legs in there at the right angle. But eventually I was able to do it. I got like the left leg in first, and then the right one kind of slipped into place. But it just looks ugly, and it blocks so much of the detail on his legs and feet that I don't like it. And after having the stand in place for a bit, it does kind of stretch out the wings, so if you take it off, he can stand up on his own pretty straight, but I wonder if over time maybe the wings would go back to their original positioning, then he might like lean back and fall over. So what I did for mine was I got a chunk of foam and I just put that between the wings and the feet, and he's really stable like that, so If you get this Femto figure and you hate the stand like I do, then you could always try something like that. But yeah, really cool figure, tons of detail in it. I'm really happy with it. And then this one over here is the Masterlise Extra Silver Age All Might inside of this brown box. And I got this one from Crunchyroll, and he's amazing. Like, the paint job's really nice on him. He's massive. He does have a few like little paint flaws, some chipped paint, but I don't even notice it when he's on display. And also on his head, like where his hair comes down on his forehead, that's looks a little out of place if I focus too closely on it, because it's like a little decal or something rather than being sculpted hair. So when I'm looking at it close up, it does look a bit out of place, and also it also looks to be unevenly applied. Oh, and I don't think I did a video on this thing, huh? The One Piece logo. But I got this. I've also been seeing it in Barnes & Noble. It was in stock at the GameStop site for a few weeks, maybe a month, but it's out of stock last time I checked. And I'm recording this video in like the middle of June. It's like June 17th, 18th, one of those days, I'm not sure. But if you're in the US like I am and you're looking to get one of these, I would check Barnes & Noble. I've seen them in store, and I think they also have them on the site to order. And this is one of those things that has a high aftermarket price. Like when it came out in Japan, you know, like on Mercari Japan, people were paying $250, $300 for it maybe. I'd have to check again, but it was pretty high. So being able to get it here for $95 felt pretty good. And now back to the All Might. So I forget if I mentioned this, I bought him from Crunchyroll, and they shipped him inside of his shipper box, inside of a actual shipping box. You know, like this is like the box he comes in from the manufacturer or whatever. So that was nice. I always like when they include that when possible. I'm not sure what determines when that's included, you know. But, you know, these ones do, the Kaido, the Big Mom. And I also got this Luffy in that same package. He was like right by All Might. And they used a good amount of packing paper too, but the All Might was pushed into the corner again, like so many sites do. Like, I'm not really complaining about it. I just have high standards for packaging, so I like reviewing it just like I enjoy reviewing figures. But yeah, these were packaged together, so it kind of made sense that they didn't have space to center them in the box they shipped in. I mean, maybe they could have used a bigger box, I don't know. But both of them arrived perfectly fine. Both the boxes arrived in great condition. And there's also been some new announcements, huh? They finally showed some of those Giant Bash figures. There's going to be Gunko and also Shamrock. There's one of them that still has not been shown yet, though. But yeah, I think the Gunko figure looks pretty good, and then I'm also looking forward to seeing what the portrait of Pirates of her looks like. I might pre-order it, but also I might take a break from ordering anything, even though I do still have a few things pre-ordered. I think all of them are from sites that have easy cancellations, so I'll see how I feel by the time they release. Though the one I'm getting no matter what is the Loki. I pre-ordered him from GameStop like a month or two ago, because he's a GameStop exclusive in the US, so yeah, that one's already paid for and done. And yep, looking forward to that one. And when it comes to the other giants, I think the Dorry and Brogy look pretty cool, pretty good, and I do like, you know, stylized figures depending, you know, like Iwakura Keiji, he adds a lot of muscles and veins, and I like them most of the time. And the Dorry and Brogy are not sculpted by Iwakura Keiji, but they do kind of have exaggerated muscles, so that's why I made that comparison. And it's almost a bit much for me, so I'm kind of on the fence about those now, because I think the Senkozukai Dorry and Brogy sculpts are much more true to their actual look and proportions. The Masterlise Expiece ones look a little bit stocky, kind of makes them look like dwarves to me, or maybe Dorry, but Brogy is really big and round, so I feel like with him being in that pose, like squatted down so low, it kind of works better for him a little bit, but I still think they both look good. It's just, yeah, that's how I'm feeling about them right now. Like when I first saw them, I was really excited. I think that was kind of in the back of my mind though, now that I've had more time to sit on it and like look at them more and let that initial wave of excitement die down, I'm kind of looking at them more critically now. And yeah, they're rare characters to get. You know, we're in Elbaph right now, so that's why it's happening. But what if it turns out those are the two biggest figures they ever get? You know, that's not necessarily a reason just to buy something. If you want that to be a reason, it's fine. But for me, I'll have to think on it a bit more. Maybe I'll go with the Senkozukai ones after all. And what else? What else has been announced? Mega WCF Loki, really excited for that. I did talk about that one, I think, in my last video, but they just showed a picture like today, and he's in the same pose as the Ichiban Kuji one. This pose right here. Oh yeah, and I also saw a picture showing that Luffy and Zoro's poses are taken from, I think, a Shonen Jump cover. So they do match something, even though they don't match this volume cover. But yeah, the Mega WCF Loki has him tied up to the tree just like this, but he doesn't have his tongue out, so it's a little different. He's just smiling in that one. But yeah, I see myself buying the Mega WCF Loki too. I'm excited to get that one. Oh, and there's also that new Glitter and Glamours Robin. I think it looks pretty good. It's taken from the moment when she meets Saul again in Elbaph. So that's another one that I'm wanting to get. And let's take a look at my Mega WCFs, because like I said, I don't know when I'm gonna be in the mood to do like a full review, so we're just gonna do this type of little quick overview. So here we have Kuma punching Saturn, and this one's really good. I love the face sculpt. The whole body sculpt is really nice looking. You can see like some little lines etched into him that make it look like he's like beat up, you know. And also on the coat, the jacket as well, has those lines in it, and then there's a hole right there in the back. Hair looks good, hat looks good. It has all the details and the colors where they need to be, which is the least I hope to see on these figures. And the face looks great too. Love the sculpt. You can see the red eye and all that. Oh yeah, even there's his paw hand, you can see right there from the paw fruit. And then this one, he's got the hockey on the fist here. Ugly ass Saturn. I just dropped his base because he just sits on the base, he doesn't hook onto it. If you put him somewhere higher than Kuma, you can make it look like he's gonna punch him. And yeah, look at this thing about Saturn. He comes in two halves like this, so if you take him apart like that, he's hollow inside, so you could put something in there. Like this dumb thing. Well, not dumb. She's pretty amazing, but yeah, you could put something in there, so that's just kind of funny little thing you can do with him. Though yeah, I would be careful picking him up like this. It feels like mine's kind of gripped over time, but when I first put it on, I feel like it wasn't too tight of a connection. Yeah, like there it goes. So yeah, that is a little downside to that. I don't like how easy it is. And then there's what the bottom looks like, just flat, no little peg or anything like that. Let me go get the stand that I dropped. Where did it go? So here's what it looks like. You can see it just has a little curve for his fat ugly ass to sit on. Oh, and also look at this, what you can do with this Luffy. So this one's really good too, I love it. Though mine did come with a pretty bad paint flaw, like there was orange here, right here on the hair, so I did have to wipe that off. It took a bit of work to get it off, but it's pretty much gone now. And then the little adorable Borsalino. And yes, he is white, you know, that's kind of lazy of them not to even color him, but I do love the sculpt of the whole figure. And yeah, Luffy looks great, the face, love the face, the eyes. Whole sculpt of the body, and yeah, he's on this really tall support pole going right into his back there. And the hat is nicely detailed too. Good detail, you can see where it was sewn back together, and just all throughout the straw hat looks good. So yeah, I really love this one. Or at least I did. No, I think he's fine. This is the kind of thing that happens when you hold the camera in one hand and a figure in the other. Oh yeah, one thing about the stand, like, I noticed he was kind of leaning forward and it was coming out of the hole a little bit, so that is something I do not like about this one. Like, it goes in like that, see? But when I put him on, sometimes I noticed it was kind of already leaning like that. So I think they could have done that better too. Let me put him back on and we'll see if it leans. And yeah, he also comes in two pieces, he connects right there, but yeah, let's see what I'm talking about. So let me get him on there. Nice and flat. It's staying fine, but I think just a little nudge. No, it's alright, but yeah, the other day, see if it gets pushed a little, kind of leans. I do wish it had a better connection. But yeah, right there, seems to be working fine. But let's get something else. Oh yeah, let's do the Pacifista. I've already talked about it, but I have two now. I got the Japanese and the US release, which of course the figures are identical, just the boxes look different, but we got two Pacifistas, and I do wish they would make more with like one with the open mouth, one with the laser in the other hand. That would be nice. But I doubt it. I feel lucky we even got these ones. And then we have Kumachi. So this one's great too, and it reuses a lot of the Pacifista, I noticed. Like the legs look identical and so do the body, but it's got a different arm here, you know, because this one has arm coming out, this one has arm going down. And he's also holding the Bible, so that's a nice touch, because you know, you don't even see it here, but they did sculpt and color the Bible down there, so I was happy to see that. And I can't tell if that's the exact same arm as this one. Damn, he almost fell again, because I'm looking through the viewfinder on the camera. Or the screen, not the viewfinder, but the screen, because my camera has a little screen. But yeah, they may be using the same arm also. Maybe the Kuma just has a gloved hand instead, but I can't tell. They also have the exact same hair and hat, but the face is different, and I'm not really complaining about that, just pointing it out. But yeah, I did look very closely at the hair, and the sculpt is identical. So is the hat. The angle does look to be a little different maybe though. And yeah, the face sculpt is different, beautiful, gentle smile of Kumachi there. You can even see his happy eyes through the glasses. I really love this one, he's really good, and I love the sculpt of the cloak too, it looks really nice. So this is one of my more favorite ones of the Mega WCFs. And here's something else you can do with Luffy. You can have him holding Saturn, though yeah, Saturn isn't in the exact form that he's in at that moment, but still a fun display option. So yeah, you could do that with the Luffy and kind of recreate that moment. And he just fell again, but thankfully he fell just on the carpet, didn't hit anything on the way down, because I was setting him down and I like pulled on the legs and they fell off. So here you go, now you can see his two pieces. And just because I'm putting all my figures away, it doesn't mean I'm going to stop making videos. Like if I feel like making a video, I could always take one out of the box. And I'm also going to be getting some manga soon, so I'll probably talk a little bit about that when I get it. But yep, here we have the Mega WCF Hybrid Kaido. And this one was pretty interesting. Like, he comes in a lot of pieces. He also comes in the thinnest box, and he's got so much pieces. So I wonder why they did it in a thinner box. But everything fit in there, so I'm not complaining. Though his horns did come bent, these ones. They're pretty soft, so can kind of push them to the side. And I do that every now and then. I'll push them like that, hold them, then let go, and they'll kind of go back. And it has straightened them out a bit, though not completely. But he comes with a lot of pieces, so these two horns have to be connected, the two outer horns, and also his weapon. And his stand is pretty weird. He just sits onto it. Oh, and also his tail is a separate piece, and this arm too. So I've seen some people have trouble with this arm. So what I did was I heated up the back of the cloak, and then it made it kind of soft, so I could slip that arm in there pretty easily. So it was not hard if you just heat it up a little bit. Though if you don't, I can see it being very difficult to get it in. And I just love the hair on this one. I love his blocky hair. I've always loved his style of hair, and then with the WCF style, it's like even more exaggerated, more blocky. So that's one of my favorite things about this figure. And yeah, I wasn't sure about this one for the longest time, but I love it now that I have it. Face looks good and everything, and he has a really soft mustache. I mean, it's pretty soft. And then yeah, I don't like that they didn't color the toenails. Like, I mean, at least color those black. That would have been nice. And I would have liked to have seen the chains colored gold. And yeah, the body looks good. I like the body sculpt. You can see he's muscular, but it doesn't look over exaggerated. It looks like Kaido, you know. Then there's a scar. Not sure how well you can see that. And I think there are some official drawings of Kaido, like for a Shonen Jump manga cover, where you can see his cuffs and they're all black like this. But I'm so used to the gold look where the spikes are colored gold that I do kind of wish they would have made them gold here. But yeah, pretty good figure overall. The paint job on the horns is really nice too. You can see the gradient where it transitions. So those are nicely done, nicely sculpted. Love the horns, and face looks great. He's got the veins too, and they even sculpted the little ridges on his nose. So it's really detailed, and they also made sure to change the scales. Like, this is what they look like on the arms, and then when you get to the hand, you can see they change shape. Then when it gets to the fingers, they stop, and that's how he actually looks. So that's true to his design. And then yeah, the cape cloak looks great too. Pretty good beast here. And I wasn't even planning on making this video, but I got a comment that was asking when my next video was going to be, so that kind of got me in the mood to make a video again, and I thought, you know, might as well just make it, give a little update. So yeah, that's it for this video.